Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Heart Artistry Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about high ticket offers. So what I'm specifically referring to is these are your high ticket programs. These are your close proximity offers. For a lot of you, that is one-on-one. For some of you, that's one-on-one and group. So your high ticket offers are essentially the top of your funnel. So if you've got masterclasses, you have a membership, like a mid-tier membership, or you've got a mid-tier course, the highest ways of working with you, your highest ticket pricing, the programs where you give the most close proximity, those are typically at the top. They're typically your highest priced offers, and they are masterminds, one-on-ones. These are maybe a high ticket membership or a higher ticket course or certification. These are your high ticket offers. And you may even create high ticket bundles that include a one-on-one and a group at a high 4-figure, 5-figure price point to work with you closely. And that might include some VIP work, VIP days, based on how your business is structured, whether you do more done-for-you work or you are a mentor, a guide, a coach, depending on what it is you offer, you typically have high ticket offerings. So I want to talk today about the energetics behind selling your high ticket offerings and what really stands in our way, especially as women leaders, when it comes to selling these offers. Because I want you, especially, we're now officially in the fire horse year, by the way. Happy Lunar New Year. We are here. This is the year. This is the year. Guys, okay, think of it this way. This year, so every year there's a different element from the Chinese astrology. My dad has repeated this to me since I was a young kid. So this is the year, this is the fire year, okay? So there's already an element of fire that is here. Can you just jump on it? Maybe that's not the best analogy. Can you utilize it? Can you harness it? Can you match it with your own fire to take advantage of the energy that is already present in this year of the fire? Not even the fire year. This is the fire horse. The horse is about moving forward with momentum and drive and velocity and purpose. A horse wants to be free. It wants to move forward. It wants to gallop into the open fields, into eternity. That is when a horse is thriving and happiest. You cannot keep a horse in the stables. The horse needs to be free, running around, galloping, doing its thing, right? The horse is already representing momentum. There is already fire. There's already momentum. There's already drive. Match that with your own. Match that with your own, okay? This is the year. I'm telling you, I keep saying it. This is the year for women leaders to rise. So that's what we're doing this year. That's what we're doing. We are rising as women leaders because we need you all. You listening to this, we need you more than ever. It's just a fact. We need you more than ever. We don't even need to pull the statistical analysis to know that money in the hands of good-hearted women, good-hearted leaders, women of color, first gen, big-hearted, sovereign women is good for the world. It's so good for the world, and it's so needed. It's so needed. Your work is so needed this year, okay? So with that context set for this episode, I want to go into this conversation around high ticket offerings because I mean, there's many, many, many reasons. I find that when we are able to master selling high ticket offers in our world, in our ecosystem, within our businesses, it really supports all of the funnel. So it doesn't just serve at the very top, and it doesn't just serve your clients. It trickles all the way down to the bottom. So if you have, let's just say, paid master classes, free master classes at the very bottom of your funnel, easy to access, low ticket, free, easy to jump into. If that's like at the bottom of your funnel, and then you've got maybe a course or a group coaching offer that's around $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, you are able to support those clients in that community and be able to actually create more on a free and low ticket basis because you are well nourished through the top of your funnel. And what is so beautiful about this is every time you have a masterclass, you've got a low ticket program, or someone just jumps into your mid ticket course or group program, you position your high ticket offers, your high ticket mastermind, your high ticket one-on-one. Maybe there's a hybrid one-on-one and group offer that you have at the very top. When you position those offers as the way I call it with my clients, all roads lead to Rome. So anytime someone jumps into a masterclass, that road is going to lead them to the next thing. If they're in the mid-ticket course, lead them to the mastermind, right? You're leading them to that sustainable way of staying in your world long term. This is something that my work is known for, and what we focus on inside my high-level spaces is making sure that you don't just have clients that come in and leave and come in and leave at a one-time basis. You have clients that come in and they stay long-term because they're obsessed with you. They're obsessed with your work. They're getting results. They're excited to be there. And you've created an ecosystem where it's easy for them to not just ascend up your offers, but to stay. So I'm talking about re-signing, recommitting, alumni, continuation offers. That's what I teach in my higher level spaces. So today we're going to talk specifically around the energetics of high ticket offers and why we block ourselves. What is the energy behind blocking our high ticket sales? So I'm going to go into a couple of different examples, and I can guarantee that at least one or a couple of these are going to hit home for you. And my goal with this episode is that you really shift your perception of these blocks, right? So whatever it might be, a subconscious belief, some kind of energy that might be holding you back, I want you to work on clearing this so that you can make more in your high ticket offers this year. And I don't need to repeat the fire horse, the women leaders rising, making more money. I mean, you're on board. You get it. This is so important. This is more important now than ever. And when you are well nourished at the top, it allows everything to trickle down throughout your entire business. All right, so let's get started. So one of the things that really prohibits us, that stands in our way of receiving more and talking about and selling and receiving clients into our high ticket offers, are our thoughts around ourself, our ability to receive, our worthiness. So we have these thoughts that's like, who am I to charge that much? Is my work worth that much? I'm afraid of the responsibility that I'm going to have to hold at that price point and that level of client delivery. Then there are thoughts of, if I raise my prices, because I know I want to raise my prices, because I know I want this to be a more high ticket offer, are my existing clients going to stay? Are they going to leave? What will they think of me? Right? Is this too much for me? Can I hold this? Am I worthy of this? Don't I have to be further along? Don't I have to hit more milestones before I can get there? Or this is a very specific one. Well, I can barely even sell my $2,000 offer, what do you mean I try to charge $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 for an offer? Okay. So whatever it is that you're navigating inside your head around your high ticket offerings, it's going to sound something like this. Can I? Who am I to? What will people think of me? What if people leave? What if this happens? And here is the answer for, I want to break a couple of these down, but before I do that, I want to say that a lot of this comes down to feeling unworthy, being concerned about what people are saying and thinking about us. And in other words, it's, can I hold this? Can I receive this? Out of the thousands of clients that I've coached, I can tell you that most people, most of us, are not so afraid of failure. We are more afraid of not being able to hold success. Or we're afraid of being successful or having been successful and not being able to recreate it. So for a lot of you, that's like starting your business a couple years ago. Maybe there was a lot of success when you first started. People were buying all the time and it just seemed so easy. And then over time, it kind of tapered off a little bit and you've been trying to recreate that same like big momentum that you had when you first started. Or for some of you, maybe it was a little bit harder to get off the ground and you've created success, but you're afraid of pivoting because you don't want to lose the success that you've already created, right? So for a lot of us, it is, I am afraid of shifting. I'm afraid of pivoting. I'm afraid of losing. I'm afraid of, really, this is what it comes down to. This is the kicker, is I am afraid of the emotions I'm going to have to face if this were to come into fruition. Because we're not necessarily afraid simply of a client leaving when we raise our prices. It's, what is that going to mean about me? How am I going to feel in my body if that person leaves? What will I tell myself? And the most beautiful thing here, and what I say to my clients all the time, is you are the source. So you get to decide that. You get to decide what it means. It's not just, what does this mean about me? It's, well, what do I choose to reframe it as? Because as I've up-leveled my offers and released offers, even when they were making money and everything in between, right? Launching, selling, creating continuation offers, clients who haven't continued on with me, I am choosing to Every decision that I make first and foremost is deeply in alignment with me, meaning I'm not just making haphazard decisions in my business. If I'm letting something go, there's been a lot of thought. If I'm creating something and selling something, there's been a lot of thought and effort going into this, right? So if someone decides to not continue on, if someone decides that, my prices have become too much for them, I get to decide what I make that mean about me. And I have trained my brain to not make my brain work against me. So anytime I've had a shift like this, it is always me choosing to see it for the highest good. That, okay, regardless of whatever decision they make, I have my own back. I'm going to be okay. I've got myself. I'm good. I'm all right. Right? They can make a decision and it doesn't have to mean anything, because maybe they'll come back in a little bit. And even if they don't, then it just clears space for someone who's ready to enter my world right now, maybe today, right? But we're the ones that decide that. And just look at how easily our brain goes to, oh my goodness, what does this mean? Maybe I shouldn't have raised my prices. I lost someone that I've worked with for so long. Or what is so-and-so going to think about me? What are these people going to think about me? Am I not far along enough? Do I need to wait until I create XYZ in my business before I can sell that offer? Just look at our thoughts. Look at these thoughts that we have. And if we are not careful about taking note of these thoughts that do arise, then we are just perpetuating and living a life that is run by our subconscious brain. And we know this, that our subconscious does not speak in facts, but it feels like facts. It feels like, oh, this person isn't going to love me. And because this triggers me, it reminds me of a time where my best friend decided to be best friends with somebody else in the 5th grade. Now I'm feeling this rejection and sadness and triggers that are feeling like an open wound. And now what does this mean about me? And then we go down that spiral, right? But when we can notice this and take note of, okay, this is what's coming up now. Let me just be with that for a moment. Let me be thankful for this opportunity that came up in my business so I can process this thing that happened to me when I was 10 years old with my friend that left me for another friend. Let me just sit with that for a moment. I was just coaching one of my one-on-one clients earlier today, and something happened in a container that she was in, not mine, but somebody else's. And it brought up some feelings from when she was a child that she didn't think she still had. And that's the thing, is like, we clear as much as we can until there's more to clear and we're at a different point in our lives to be able to clear more, and then things come up again to be cleared. It doesn't mean that we didn't do a good enough job clearing it the first time. It just means that we now have the capacity to clear more. And she's like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize I still had some lingering emotions and unforgiveness around this situation. I thought I had forgiven. And one of the things I reminded her was, when we forgive, that doesn't mean that it's processed our emotions. We forgive and then we process our emotions, right? Just because we forgive someone doesn't mean that the emotions have all left. Sometimes we hold on to not forgiving someone because it's easier to be angry at them and put the blame on them, just because we don't want to look at our own emotions that are underneath, right? It's easy. It's easier to blame that person. I used to do that a lot in my romantic relationships. It was so easy for me to blame my ex for this and that. It was so easy to blame my partner because he did this and he did that. And what I was really doing as that young teenage, early 20s version of Tiffany was, I didn't want to look at all the pain that I was harboring inside my own body. And it was so much easier to blame the ex-boyfriend at the time for all of the pain I was going through than to look at it, process it, and release it. And oftentimes, business is going to bring up these situations and these experiences and honestly patterns, these patterns that continue to arise until we learn to shift them and until we learn to tell a different story. Right? And I want you to know this. Your business, the spirit of your business, the universe wants you to sell high ticket offers. You are here to be abundant. This is your birthright. And all we have to do is clear out those crazy, sticky, insane limiting beliefs that keep telling us that we can't, that we're not worthy, that we need to be like so-and-so, that our business needs to look like this in order to make that amount of money, that I have to be further along before I can start charging that amount of money, that I need to do this and this and that my house needs to be cleaner before I can receive that much money, and my life needs to be more in order, and my children need to, all the things. My brain has come up with a world of thoughts. In years and years and years of coaching thousands of clients, I've heard all the thoughts. And a lot of them, when we really look at them, it's like, oh my goodness, that's what I'm thinking. That's what my subconscious is holding on to. That's blocking me from making more money, right? It's often like this silly thing that we've picked up on a long time ago that's still pulling the puppet strings in the background. And so it is our job. I was just sharing this on a podcast interview that I was on this morning. I was interviewed by someone that was asking me questions around wealth energetics. And one of the things I said really struck a chord with her. She's like, oh, yes, that's such a good reminder. It's maintenance. It's maintenance. We're not just doing this once and then it's like, all right, we're good. I cleared that 2 years ago. Where's the abundance? It's continuous work. It's like a hygienic practice. We can't shower so good that we don't ever have to shower again. And it's the same thing with our thoughts, right? You're going to clear it And then 2 days from now, something else is going to come up and you're like, ooh, I don't like that thought. That's not a thought I want to perpetuate into my reality. And you got to clear it. You got to sit with it and you got to rewrite a different story. And it does get easier. And I can do this literally in a split second now, where it used to take me like journaling and journaling and journaling and journaling for days and days, and then lots of emotions and then resistance. Now I can do it very easily. I do still love to journal because it's just a fun practice. I love to write. My background is a writer and an author, so I love to write it out. But it does get so much easier, but it is the maintenance. Can you continue this practice? It isn't just a one and done thing. It is work that we get to keep doing because we're human. We came here. Our soul chose to come here on earth during this time with the family we chose, with the people around us that we chose. We chose this, right? But we forget it. We forget it once we are actually physically manifested into this world. And we get to come back to it. We get to come back to this remembrance of, okay, I came here to be abundant. I came here to have fun. I came here to live a pleasurable life, right? Where money just gets to come to me because it just does. It just does. And we're worthy of it. We're worthy of it, not because we need to do anything to become more worthy of it. Oh my goodness, the amount of time that I spent working so hard, first at school and in all my extracurriculars, if you have Asian parents or parents that put you in tons of all the activities, expected all of the grades, expected you to be good at all of the activities and the grades. Like, there's no wonder we became these like perfectionistic, high achieving women in our education, in our career, and now in our businesses, right? Growing up, it was like, if you didn't get an A+, what are you even doing? What did you do wrong, right? Why didn't you get the A? Why didn't you win the award? Why didn't you work harder? If you just work hard enough, then you get what you want. And it's instilled in us from a very young age to get the good grades. And that if not, then you're not doing as well and you're maybe not as worthy as the other kids. Or the boy that you had a crush on ends up liking this other girl. And because of that, you make it mean that the way that this girl looks and the way she acts and the way she dresses or the family she comes from or the money she has, you somehow make yourself inferior and you make her superior because of that reason. Right? Or all the teachers loved the popular girls that all matched and had the purses and had the brand name outfits, and you made that mean because you didn't have those things that you were lesser than. I know I had a lot of experiences like that, especially as one of the only Asian kids in a very predominantly white school. And I remember making it mean, and it just felt so true to me that because these popular girls were white, they didn't look like me, they had like beautiful blonde hair and they wore these outfits that I didn't have, right? And they had access to all these things, and I just felt like they were so quick-witted and they knew all the movies. And I remember my mom never letting me watch movies and not being able to have cable until I was like late high school, right? So I remember making all of that mean that I was just less than. I was other. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't worthy enough. I wasn't pretty enough because the boys I liked them, right? All of these stories that I accumulated in my brain that made me feel like I was less than, until I started my business, and a little bit before then. Really started to do this work, right, when I had my daughter, and started to realize that I had all of this anxiety and insecurity and everything that I had really built up over the years that is now running my life, my romantic relationships. When I started my business, it started running my business. And so these are the works that this is the work that we get to do in our lives. And in this episode specifically, we're talking about high ticket offers. We're talking about money. We're talking about wealth energetics. But this is the exact same foundational energy that we bring into our family relationships, our partner, our romantic relationships, our friendships, into our kids, into the way that we make money, into our health. Every single aspect of our life is run by these subconscious beliefs, right? So going back to these high ticket offers, one of the things that my clients bring up is, well, what if the clients I'm working with or the clients I want to work with don't want to pay this pricing, right? Because especially we're talking specifically about higher ticket offers. Like these are high multi-4 figures, 5 figures, multi-5 figures. These are big packages, right? This is a high ticket premium pricing that you're offering for your work. And what I love to remind my clients of, and what has been true in my life, is we're giving an opportunity to the client that is ready to up level. I've told this story a lot, but really quickly, my first mastermind I ever joined was $20,000 paid in full within 24 hours of being accepted. And I just had a feeling I was going to be accepted. And I was. And I was like, oh my goodness, $20,000 paid in full in one time, $20,000 leaving my bank at one time. And when I first joined my very first mastermind, I didn't even have all of the cash on hand. I had to come up with it, and I did. And it was a really beautiful, scary, exciting, insane, delusional experience where if you would ask anyone on the street if that was a good decision, if that was a good investment, people with very limited thinking would say, hell no, that's crazy. What are you doing? And for me, it was the most important, pivotal decision that I made because of the energy I went into it with. If I went into it with the energy of like, all right, this better save me. All right, this coach better, we'll see. Let's see if she proves herself. No, I went into it going, oh my goodness, this is my opportunity to rise. This is my opportunity. I've never spent this much money in a container. This is my opportunity to show myself what I'm made of when push comes to shove. And I got the $20,000 together. I made the payment. And the mastermind, I remember, didn't even start right away. It started in a couple of months. I think at least 3-4 months from the time that I paid. So I paid and then nothing happened. I didn't get access to anything. Nothing happened, right? So in that time, I decided I'm going to make this investment worth it. Not even that I necessarily needed to make the money back right away. I didn't need that, even though I always have. And I did end up making the money back before the container even started, which was crazy. But it wasn't even about that. It was energetically, I'm going to ROI this. I'm going to get my energetic identity ROI because of who I became. And because that was the way that I made this investment and that was the way I went into this container before it even started, before the calls even started, I was like, oh my goodness, I am shifting identities. I'm a different person. I am a different woman now. I remember saying that. Over and over again, every week. I was like, I'm a different woman every week. I'm a different woman every week. Oh my goodness. Who am I becoming? And then I had the audacity because I just spent that much and I was so ready to be in that container. I was so excited to be in that container. I was like, oh, I get to raise my price. So I raised my prices. I created a new offer. I was just riding this energy of I know who I am. I know what I'm here to create. I know who I'm here to be. And it gave me this opportunity. I still thank this coach to this day. I thank her in my mind and just have so much gratitude and appreciation for giving me the opportunity to join a mastermind that was $20,000 paid in full to give me the opportunity to rise. So when you're raising your prices, you're giving your clients, because think about it, the flip side is I don't want to raise my prices because I don't actually believe that my clients can pay. What? And I know that we're not thinking this consciously. This is very subconscious. It's our fear trying to hold us. It's our fear trying to keep us safe, really is what it is. It's trying to keep us safe from rejection. It's not from a place of judginess. It's not from that place, but we get to look at it in that way because then it makes us go, oh, I don't want to think that way about my clients, right? So if we're flipping it, we're going, oh, well, I don't want to raise my prices because I don't think that my client can pay it. And I don't think they have the money for it. And if they don't have the money for it, or if they do have the money for it, or if they don't, I don't believe that they can make it. I don't believe that they can manifest it, right? That's what our subconscious is telling us, and that's not true. So if you're raising your prices because this is what feels in genuine intuitive alignment, right, to you to raise your prices because it feels more satisfying, you get to serve more high-level people, it also gives your clients the opportunity to rise, then it's like, I see you as the biggest version of yourself, and I have no fear for you because I know that you're going to rise to meet me at this level. I know that you're going to rise, and if it's in alignment with you, then you're going to find a way to make these payments. And who you become in the process is part of the transformation. The transformation is in the transaction. Anytime I've paid for a high-level mastermind, high-level one-on-one mentorship container, the mentor I'm working with right now, we're going on 3 years continuously. I've been paying her every single month for 3 years for one-on-one work. Like, this is the work that really shifts us. And when we open ourselves to high-level mentorship and the mentor that we know can hold us, that we are aligned to working with, and we're not saying, oh, later, maybe later, I don't know, maybe later, maybe down the line, maybe when I have all the money, when I know that I can make every single payment. Like, obviously your intention, your intentionality has to be behind it, and you have to make the best decision for you. But there have been times where I've entered containers on a payment schedule, and I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to make those payments every single month, but I knew I would. I knew come hell or high water, it is not in my field energetically. I've never broken a contract. I've never asked for a refund. That's not me. So what does that leave? What does that leave if I never leave a contract? What does that leave if I never, ever, ever break an agreement? If I decide to make these payments on this date for an entire year, you better believe I'll find a way to do it come hell or high water. No matter what I need to do, I will make those payments, and I always have. I always have because I don't see any other option. In my world, I don't break agreements. So whenever I've invested, I have up-leveled. And it's also why I attract clients who don't break agreements, who always find a way, who continue to up-level and transform every single time in my containers. Because I hold this, I see them as the biggest version of themselves, because I've also had to rise to the occasion to make payments that were bigger than what I was making in a month. And that scares me. And I'm not saying every single person should go out and do this. It's really about your intentions, right? It's about the intention and the frequency that you go into this with. The level of power and self-trust that you have within your body. I'm the kind of person that's like, I'm going to enter and I'm going to find a way because this is who I am. I'm crazy because I don't want a mediocre life. I don't want mediocre. I don't want average. I don't want what everyone else has. I want insane, logic-defying levels of wealth. I want to create a life just because I want it. That's crazy. Like, just because I want it, I get to have it. I don't have to justify it to anyone. No one else has to make sense of it but me. Nobody but me. So when you can honestly state that to yourself, because I think that's the first piece of this, is some of us are not fully letting ourselves run wild with our desires. We let ourselves have this and this and this, and we've created this and this and this, and we have these amazing accomplishments and achievements. But some of us, I want you to go bigger this year in the Fire Horse year. I want you to go bigger. I want you to list out all of your insane desires. Like, if you could have anything and there is absolutely no limits. No limits. You can just have it just because you want it. You don't have to explain why. You don't need a good reason for it. What do you want if there were no limits? What would you call in? And then I want you to look at, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because we're talking about high ticket offers. These are your highest highest ticket services, your highest ticket programs and containers. This is thousands and thousands of dollars. So if you would like these offers to be selling more than they're selling right now, I want you to look at what are you still currently holding on to on a subconscious level that is blocking you, it's holding you back from having this. Why do you think that you're not worthy of it? Something I like to do to uncover this is I like to ask myself, I feel like I can't have this because XYZ. Or I feel like I'm not worthy of this because blank, blank, blank. Or this wouldn't come to someone like me because this and that. This is where your subconscious beliefs are going to come up. And sometimes you're going to look at them and be like, oh, I was thinking that? Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense why I was attracting this and this into my reality and these blocks into my reality, because this is what I was thinking in the background this whole time. Well, no wonder. No wonder. And it's until we do this work, this unsexy work, and just like I mentioned earlier, the maintenance of this unsexy work, that we really get into the nitty-gritty, deep root of why we're not selling high ticket. Because I want to remind you of something. The energy of $5 is the same as $5,000, is the same as $50,000, is the same as $500,000, is the same as $5 million. But we have way more blocks about calling in $500,000, $5 million than we do attracting $5. $5, it's like, yeah, okay, done. Easy peasy. I can find that from the couch change. Easy. I have that sitting in my wallet. Easy. But 500,000, one person paying $50,000 for one offer, that's when our brain starts going, ooh, yeah, I don't know about that. That seems crazy. It's almost like we almost get a little offended. I went to a dinner the other day where my friend invited me, and she had a couple of friends there. And some of them that I'd never met, that I became friends with, but that dinner was the first time we met. And one of them, I remember I was telling her about my prices, because she was asking what I did. And she asked me about my pricing, and she asked me like these nitty gritty details. I'm an open book. I'll share anything. And she was like, honestly, I'm feeling a little triggered that you charge that. And I was like, that's okay. I was like, that doesn't really have anything to do with anything other than what you're making it mean in your subconscious, right? I don't think I said it exactly in that way, but I was like, it's okay. Like that's just, those are just thoughts that we have about pricing. And she was like, I'm a little triggered by your pricing. And I wasn't even selling to her. I was just telling her. And she was like, oh my gosh. She like had a visceral reaction. She like put her fork down and was like staring at me with her mouth open. She was like, you charge that much? Oh my gosh. Like she had never heard of something like that. Right? And I just held space for it. I didn't, go into like over explaining myself. I just kind of like held space for her emotions in that moment. And I didn't make it mean anything about me, because it doesn't mean anything about me. She has these thoughts around money. And this is the way that she's thinking about money and how people should receive money, or how much people should charge around the offers that they're offering. And I have a completely different mindset. And I believe that she can shift her mindset, and she doesn't have to do it with me. She doesn't have to hire me to do it, right? She can do it on her own. And maybe that conversation we had was a catalyst for her growth, for her to be like, maybe I am open to receiving that level of money, right? She works in corporate. And so maybe this inspires her to expand and think about things in a completely different way. And so I didn't think of anything of it. I didn't think anything of her. I didn't, and the reason is because I know that we all have lots of interesting money beliefs, because as a society, we've done a lot of demonizing money. We've done a lot of rich people are bad and rich people are greedy and you shouldn't want more and you should have just enough. We grew up with a lot of that. And so it doesn't surprise me when people have unserving money beliefs. I get to work with the leaders who are ready to change their money beliefs and have a completely different reality with money. That's what excites me. Because here's the thing, money is a mirror. It responds to you. And when you choose to see money as responding to you and co-creating with you, then you get to rise, like you get to lift your standards and your energetics around money and let money come to you. If you're telling yourself that making $70,000 a year is enough and that's it, then you will continue making $70,000 a year. Not more, not less. That will be your baseline. But if you choose to raise your baseline to $100,000 and then you hit it, and then 130, and then you hit it, and then 150, and then you hit it, and then 300, and then you hit it, and then 500, and then you hit it, then that's the game you get to play with money. It's not about worth. It's not like someone who makes more money than you is more worthy than you. They're just more open to it. They're just more open to it. One of the things I want to leave you with is this really isn't about doing more. It's not. It's not about doing more. You don't need more practices. You don't need tons more rituals. You don't need to add a ton of things to your plate. Okay. I know so many of us are already busy and we're entrepreneurs, right? A lot of us are mothers, are parents. And so it's not about doing more. Trust me, it's not. It's not about working harder. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already a hard worker. You're probably already a high achiever. So it's not about needing to do more. It's about, can you let yourself receive more? Can you let the doors open? Can you fling them wide open and open the floodgates? Can you let go of anything that's weighing you down? I love the analogy of like, if you're trying to swim up to the top from the depths of the ocean, but you've got these like weight blocks tying you down, untie those weights, untie the weights. You'll literally just float up to the top. I believe that money wants to come to us. I believe that money wants us. It wants us. But can we be open to it? Can we let it in? Can we receive it? Can we open? Can we allow it? Can we open our arms wide and let it come to us? Can we let ourselves be an energetic match to us instead of trying to protect ourselves from rejection and sadness and disappointment that we're just disappointed anyway? Like, we're trying so hard to keep ourselves from disappointment that we don't ever end up going for the bigger thing. We don't ever end up creating that higher ticket offer. We don't ever or we have the higher ticket offer, but we don't ever end up talking about it and selling it and really, really going all in on it because we're trying to protect ourselves the entire time. And we're trying to protect ourselves from the disappointment and the sadness that we could potentially feel, but then we don't actually go all in and create it at all. And that, I do not want that for you. I do not want that for you. This is the year of the fire horse. This is the year of big momentum. This is the year that you go all in. So for the month of March, I am bringing back a favorite from last year, which is move fast. This is a 3-week experience where we talk about, Fire Horse is all about moving fast. Can we use this energy and this opportunity to go all in, to move forward, to be in the momentum of receiving money, not necessarily because you're doing more, not moving fast in the sense of hustle, hustle, go, 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 haphazard actions, just do whatever you can. But I mean moving fast and making moves into the direction that you know you're aligned to. If you know something dropped in and it's ready to go now, you're not waiting on it. You're selling it right now. Money loves to move quickly. Money loves the cyclical motion and movement. It wants to move. So can you move in your movement, the movement that you're leading, the mission that you're leading? Can you be the leader that moves fast in the direction of your highest timeline? And the universe is going to come and respond. In the month of March, you're going to watch how money responds to you. Money is a byproduct of who you are being. You are the catalyst. You are the source. We're going to play with that together inside the month of March. So if you would like to join me inside this 3-week experience, we are starting in the second week of March. Let's see. We're going to be starting on March 9th. So it's going to be 3 weeks of trainings and teachings on moving fast in your life, in your business, in alignment to your greatest dreams. Because if you have months and months and months to create something, you'll take months and months and months. But if you give yourself a shorter amount of time, you'll get it done in a shorter amount of time. And money will come to you in a shorter amount of time. If you tell yourself, I'll have my 6-figure year, I'll have my first multi-6-figure year a couple of years from now, it'll take a couple of years. But if you claim it this year, it can happen within this year. So that's what I want to play with inside the month of March. And that's what we're going to be doing inside Move Fast. The link and the information will be in the show notes. I would love to see you in there. And if you love this episode, feel free to share it to your stories, tag me, send me a message. I always, always, always love hearing from you. And if there was something valuable that you took away, or there was a win, there's something you took action on, you moved fast after one of my episodes, I always love hearing it. So please share that with me on Instagram at tiffanychung.co. I hope to see you inside Move Fast in March. And I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll catch you on the next episode.